All right, welcome back to VSG Tea
with Sammi and Bre.
Cheers. Okay, so tell us what we're talking about today.
All right, so we are going to be talking about how people treat us differently before and after surgery. So that's going to be for me, but for you, it's going to be how people treated you before
I gained my weight.
And after.
I gained my weight. Awesome. Okay, so
you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first since it's fresh.
Yeah.
Like I have had, if you guys watch my my weight loss story highlight, you'll see just kind of like the evolution of my weight gain. Since I was a little girl, like I was, obviously aware that I was, bigger, and then my senior year of high school, I was pretty big, like big, especially compared to Orange County standards, which is where I live. And so I lost a bunch of weight my senior year. I got down from I think it was 165 to 125, which is a pretty big difference for, 17, 18-year-old. And then I was able to keep that weight off for a few years, and then I gained it back, and it's just been a slow and gradual gain since then. So back in the day, I'm actually 10,000 times more confident than I was when I was skinny now. I think it's also an age thing too, because I was tiny when I was in my teens and in my early 20s. So, now I'm 31, and I feel like, I was such a confused, little girl with, no self-confidence. But definitely, I was just treated very much differently. I mean, people would go out of their way to do things for me, and, just would want me to, be around and, this is gonna sound so ridiculous, but, be in, their pictures more, and everybody wants that, friend that's, cute or whatever. But the thing is that all of my girlfriends, they were very tiny, and my girlfriends to this day, are still, tinier girls. And so it's just the Orange County, lifestyle, basically. You're tiny, you're tan, and you're tucked. Yeah, so I feel like, people, I mean, especially not my friends, but people who maybe are more acquaintances, kind of treated me a little bit differently. I did hear from one person, who I'm not going to name names, obviously, that people were going to respect me more in business if I'm more fit. And I died, because the reason why I'm the way that I am is because of my business. 100%, I've poured my soul and body into it, and you can totally tell. So, yeah, that's kind of how, that's kind of the differences. And I don't need to be treated differently by anybody. That's totally fine. I really am my compass for how I feel about myself. Mm-hmm. And I've worked on it many years to get to that point, but it would just be a little bit nicer to, kind of feel like I can do more,
Right.
Mm-hmm. So what about for you?
So I've been chubby pretty much my whole life, especially from the age of 8 on. And so I've never experienced being small, ever. Mm-hmm. When I was in middle school, high school, I was well overweight. It wasn't until after high school, when I stopped playing softball, that it just kind of blew up from there. Then I had a child, and then it just, kept going. Mm-hmm. So ignorance was bliss for me. I knew people made comments, I ignored them. People weren't nice, but I didn't know the difference. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't upset about it. Looking back now, I'm like, ew, mm-hmm. People are jackasses. Mm-hmm. But then it's just oh, whatever. And then you just kind of accept it, which is horrible. Mm-hmm. You're just well, whatever. I'm a big girl. They're gonna make fun of me. Mm-hmm. They're talking about me. And to this day, it still has an effect on me. Mm-hmm. I just signed up for a gym the other day, and mm-hmm. there were muscly men working out, and the thought of walking in front of them to go sign up for the gym, mm-hmm. even looking like this, mm-hmm. I was just mm-hmm. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
Old habits.
Why? Mm-hmm. Because in my 363-pound mind, I was that's so embarrassing. I don't want to be in front. Mm-hmm. You can mm-hmm. have the confidence, like I've said before, but mm-hmm. deep down, those comments are still going to bug you.
So, right.
I can't stress on that enough that your mind is just in a whole different place from then until now. And I see the difference. People hold doors open for me. People are so nice. Guys buy me drinks. I mean, well, we're in quarantine, not right now, but
right.
You know, people are so much nicer.
Right.
So much nicer, and it's like so messed up. And I've talked about my dating life before and after, and I was a secret from the very beginning for many, many relationships, if not all of them.
Yeah.
It's very rude. And to this day, I find myself triggered with my boyfriend. And I'm just going to be completely honest. If I'm not, I just go straight to my head, like, he's hiding me. But it's like, no, that's just, you know, the way he is, or whatever it may be. But I get triggered on certain situations.
How do you work that through with him, if you don't mind me asking? Personal.
I don't really know. I haven't really said that.
Well, he's gonna see it now.
He might just watch and be like, oh man. No, he doesn't do anything wrong. That's the whole thing. It's me. It's my mindset. It's I feel hidden. I feel a secret because that's all I was. It wasn't until I lost weight that all of those guys that hid me were like, hey, you want to come out? You want to go out here? You want to go do this? You want to be in my Instagram video? I remember the first time I was on an Instagram video. One of the guys that I dated, and I was skinny, and he put me on there. I was like, oh my gosh.
Wow, that's all it took.
Hi.
It's a few years of hell.
That's it. That's it. And he just put me up there, and I was like, oh my god, he like showed me off, and it was like amazing to me. And I was like, that is the dumbest thing to get excited about. But again, when you're so used to being a secret for so long and someone's not out there showing you off all the time, that's just how it's gonna go.
We're also millennials, so we're used to being put on blast on social.
Yeah, and we're
Sometimes we don't date millennials though. Come on.
My
boyfriend. Oh my gosh, no, I have to like actually tell John, like I have like learned from a very young age before I was even in relationships, you have to be so direct with men. They are not mind readers. Tell them exactly what you want, and that's exactly what I've done with this relationship. I've literally formed my boyfriend into like exactly what I want for my future husband, and I suggest that everybody else does the same. I'm like, I want flowers. I need Post-it notes with notes around the house once in a while.
Oh my god, I love that for you.
You know, it works. It does work.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that I'm forming my boyfriend whatsoever, but bless his heart, he's not a social media guy. But you're right. Like that, you have to voice that, and that's something that I am not good at. I'm not good at sitting down and be like, hey, you know what? This kind of bugs me. Like because of my past and because of how I was and my mindset, this bothers me.
Right.
I'm not good at it. So that's something that I'm trying to work through, and it's a daily struggle. So
tea.
That is so tea.
That is so tea. I feel like when I was tinier, so any point in my entire life, like whether I was 18 all the way to right now, I do not like being approached by men in public places. Like if I'm out with my girlfriends and I'm having a good time, I do not like men talking to my friends. I don't like men talking to me. Like I'm just that way, and I've always been that way. My girlfriends like die over it, but I'm just like not that girl. Like I'm not here to meet any dudes. Like that's not what I'm trying to do, especially when I'm in a relationship. Like I'm hardcore in a relationship.
Yeah.
Like I have a freaking barrier.
Yeah.
So basically though, like when I was like tinier, like definitely more of the attention like would be on, you know, or at least some of it, or like 50-50 would be on myself. And then like when I started gaining weight, it was like, you know, like the bartender would be talking to my friend only, and like just, you know, eye contact with like my tinier friends, you know, and not me. And it's like, okay, that's totally fine. Like I get it. Like I don't care, you know? And for like a few years, like I did not care about how I looked. That's how I got to this position that I'm in. So that's also a big one too. But if I cared about, you know, guys approaching me in public, it would be probably a much bigger issue.
Yeah.
But I just don't give a, you know.
I mean, that's fair. I don't like men approaching me. I think it's uncomfortable. And again, my mind just goes right back to like, you don't want to talk to me. Believe me, I promise you don't want to talk to me. But it's like, you're not that anymore. Like, cut that out. Like, yeah, no, it's a bad thing. It's horrible. It's a horrible mindset to have. But like I've said in my previous dating video, when my boyfriend holds my hand out in public, I get like an anxious feeling when he
Mhm.
kisses me in public, holds, like whatever it may
Oh
be.
wow.
I get like a, people are gonna look at you, don't do it. Like,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
the people don't care. Like,
I know.
it's horrible.
That's
and
crazy.
Yeah, but that's my immediate thought is, oh my gosh. But then I have to like remind myself, like,
Mhm.
no, you're not that anymore, and you're not a secret
Mhm.
to anyone.
Right.
Like, just go back.
That's intense.
It really is. It
Yeah.
messes with your mind.
I feel like that too. I feel like I'm just kind of like have disappointed my body so much that I've like disappointed my appearance when I'm with my dude. But you know, like when I go out in public, I'm like, well, I already look like this, so it's like, what am I gonna do? Put on some brows, and I always do. I do just in case, like
That took me a
some
minute.
brows.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Did you meet John when you were skinny?
I met John when I was 188 pounds. I've never told anybody that. But I hide my weight well. I know how to dress myself. I knew how to like make it work, and I also had way more energy back then. So my posture was different, my demeanor was different, the way I talked was different. Everything was very different. And we're gonna get into like the five senses too, about like how, you know, taste, smell, touch, everything changes during this process, because it's a real thing too. Like I sweat now, like I am so uncomfortable filming these things for you guys because I hate my body. Once you guys know and realize like also a little bit more background about what I do and the industry that I'm in, you'll definitely understand that too. But it's just a lot of pressure being in my position, especially like on roids, like it is on steroids, that being in front of you guys vulnerable, like the last few shirts that I wore, I think on the last few teas that we had, I was just like a mess. I'm like damp right now from like sweating, and like these are all things that happen when you know you basically lose control of your weight. So I don't want to feel like this anymore, like that. Everything else, like okay, like in the men's intention, like whatever, I don't care about that. I don't want to feel like this in front of you guys,
Right.
not wanting to freaking film, because this is important stuff.
Yeah.
Tea.
And you did it though.
Okay,
when you
tea.
did it.
Yeah.
You're being vulnerable, you're
Mhm.
sharing your story, and
Yeah.
that's something that I'm sure all of you appreciate. I know I appreciate, because again, it's a different perspective. I really wish that I would have done this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know.
I really do. And I know that it's hard for you, but
It's not fun. I have a freaking crazy double chin.
it's gonna go away.
We're good.
She gonna leave.
And I don't have my extensions in either, guys. Like I have a whole like different like set of issues, like where I basically spray tan, I have my nails done, I have extensions in, sometimes, you know, I have lash extensions, I have the whole nine. So
I know.
you know, so here we are, bald.
Oh.
Overweight and just, you know, barely being able to fit into anything I own. So
Yeah, but what's gonna be so fun is watching back on these videos. And
yeah,
literally looking back and being like, look at how different you look.
yes, and just like I need to stop talking down on myself, because
Me
it's a
too.
thing I'm doing on the top of every hour for years. So I can't wait to see like how I treat myself differently. I don't care about how others treat me differently. I want to treat myself differently because I freaking deserve it. I'm gonna get emotional, but
Oh, you
know,
do.
it's a thing.
Yeah, and you are gonna treat yourself differently. You're gonna have days that you're gonna be like, like I feel like I was, but then you're also gonna have days where you look and you're like, I'm not that. I have come so far, and I'm so proud of myself. So I'm proud of you.
Looking forward to that. Thank you. I'm proud of you.
Yay. Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for joining on this kind of emotional journey.
I know. This one was heavier than the other one.
Yeah. But yes, just be good to your guys' selves and just be patient, and we're all in this together. Let's just be better.
Yeah. Cheers to that. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.